John Travolta. You don't expect goodbye signals from someone who still dances, still flies planes, still smiles for the camera. But what if the signs were there all along? What if, after 4 decades of fame, heartbreak, and survival, John Travolta quietly started preparing for something no one else could see? Friends noticed him giving away deeply personal items. Fans heard him speak with a different kind of calm. And in 2025, as strange death hoaxes spread online, people began to wonder if they were missing a bigger truth. Because when you've lost your mother, your wife, and your son, something inside you changes forever. John Travolta was born on February 18, 1954, in Englewood, New Jersey, the youngest of 6 kids in a house that was always loud but never rich. His father, Salvatore, worked long hours running a tire shop, while his mother, Helen, filled the home with music, scripts, and unfinished dreams from her own acting life. Their living room doubled as a rehearsal space, echoing with songs from classic musicals. Long before Hollywood ever noticed him, John learned how powerful performance could be just by watching his mother light up on stage. As a kid, music became his safe place. School was rough. He was teased for his thin frame, his stutter, and the way he walked. Kids could be cruel, and many days he wanted to disappear. But at home, he transformed pain into performance, acting out scenes for his siblings, dancing to records, letting rhythm drown out the noise of the outside world. His mother saw it clearly. This wasn't just a hobby. This was survival. At just 12 years old, John Travolta stepped on stage in a small community play his mother directed. The role was tiny, but the reaction wasn't. He added his own humor, played with accents, and when the crowd erupted in applause, something clicked. That moment told him exactly who he was meant to be. From then on, there was no backup plan. At 16, against his parents' wishes, he dropped out of high school and moved to New York City with almost nothing. He slept in a cheap YMCA room, washed dishes, delivered flowers, and snuck into acting classes he couldn't afford. Nights were lonely, money was tight, but quitting was never an option. He believed the struggle meant something. Training under respected acting teachers helped him lose his stutter and sharpen his presence. Small stage roles followed, then off-Broadway work, and finally a national tour where he learned how to perform night after night without breaking. Those years taught him discipline and how quickly success could vanish. Everything changed when television came calling. Welcome Back, Coder turned him into a household name, almost overnight. Suddenly, everyone knew his walk, his voice, his grin. But it was Saturday Night Fever that turned fame into history. At just 23, he earned an Oscar nomination, became the face of a generation, and helped define an era. That white suit, that swagger, that soundtrack, it was lightning in a bottle. Then came Grease, and with it, global superstardom. The success was overwhelming, but behind the scenes, tragedy struck. His mother, the woman who started it all, died of breast cancer. He smiled through press tours while grieving someone he could never replace. Fame didn't protect him from loss. It only made it lonelier. The years that followed were a mix of bold choices and painful regrets. Roles he turned down became legendary hits for other actors. Films he believed in sometimes failed spectacularly. And then, just as his career steadied again, life delivered its cruelest blow. In 2009, his 16-year-old son, Jet, died suddenly while the family was on vacation. John Travolta tried to save him. He performed CPR, he begged, and when it was over, the world watched him break in real time. No awards, no box office numbers could soften that pain. It changed him forever. Still, he kept going. He found moments of joy in unexpected places. He welcomed another son, Benjamin, who became a symbol of healing. He poured himself into charity work, flew planes full of supplies to disaster zones, and mentored young actors who reminded him of himself. Then, in 2020, tragedy returned. His wife, Kelly Preston, died after a private battle with breast cancer. She was his partner for nearly 30 years, his anchor through every rise and fall. Her death left a silence that never fully lifted. He said her final wish was for him to live with joy. But learning how to do that without her took time. By 2025, people noticed something different. John Travolta was still working, still dancing, still showing up. But he spoke more about gratitude, about letting go. He gave away possessions that once meant everything to him. He recorded heartfelt messages to fans that felt final. Death hoaxes spread online, and while he shut them down calmly, they left people uneasy. Yet here's the truth most people miss. This isn't a man giving up. This is a man who's lived enough to understand what really matters. John Travolta still flies his planes. He still dances when the music hits. He still shows up for the people who need him. But he's also learned that life is fragile, time is borrowed, and love is the only thing that lasts. After everything he's lost, maybe the real shock isn't that he's saying goodbye in small ways. Maybe it's that he's still here at all, choosing grace over bitterness, movement over silence, and meaning over fear. If this story moved you, take a second to show some love. Like the video, subscribe for more stories that go deeper than headlines. And remember, sometimes the strongest people are the ones who've survived the most.